You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports reporters. Okay. Now we got a problem. Now we've got a problem because when we find out, allegedly, that the Seattle Storm owner verbally berated a 16-year-old girl for supporting Sophie Cunningham, we got a problem. We got a serious problem, and we're about to put their ass on blast. This is unacceptable. If this happened, you're an owner of a sports team, and you're verbally berating fans that showed up, paid to get in, to consume one of your games. We got the WNBA media. Roberta's losing her mind. Losing her mind. Because she wants to be able to ask Sophie Cunningham and Caitlin Clark non-basketball related questions. And I got to give the Fever credit. They pretty much gave the correct answer last night. We're keeping this about basketball. I'm sure that probably put a dagger in Stephanie White's heart because, let's be honest, she's one of the ones that always are right there. She verbally chastised all the fans of Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. If you wasn't inclusive, yada, 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 they didn't want you to consume. Sorry, not sorry. Let's start here. There was a Sophie Cunningham fan rally outside the Fever game tonight. And, yeah, it looks like there was a lot more people there than people were originally talking about supporting Sophie Cunningham. So there were also a few freaks that showed up to counter-protest. Lots of little girls in Caitlin and Sophie jerseys. One girl passed us and said, quote, "That's sick." Yikes. Yikes. Seattle Storm, Stephanie Dolson, came sauntering in pregame wearing this: trans white rights or human rights. Seattle Storm's getting destroyed. Absolutely destroyed. You should have allowed the Fever to play with men tonight if y'all are going to be so tolerant. Right on, Johnny Root. Why would a WNBA team want men to play in women's sports? Traitors. Unbelievable. I mean, it's oh boy. It's crazy. Yeah, female bulges in women's sports for the win. Yikes. Yeesh. Then you should have no problems playing against biological men. Let trans women play in the WNBA so they can actually get a dunk contest. Brandy Krause, who helped organize this pro-women's rally, not an anti-trans rally, that's the media blowing smoke up your ass. A pro-women's and girls rally, their rights. A women's basketball league, a women's basketball owner is triggered by somebody that is pro-women's rights, pro-girls' rights. Think about that a minute. How absurd and crazy that is. The way the Seattle Storm fans, players, and even an owner treated teenage girls today for simply the act of wearing XXXY athletic shirts and cheering on Sophie Cunningham was beyond disgusting. They were cussed at, booed, and intentionally tripped. What? One of them was berated until she cried. As usual, the people preaching, quote, love and inclusion proved to be the most hateful bigots of all. I will have much more tomorrow. None of the culprits will be spared my fury. Johnny Root, we got some more details. I'm told that Seattle Storm co-owner Celeste Keaton confronted, verbally berated, and cussed at two young Sophie Cunningham supporters at the Fever versus Storm game Tuesday night. Keaton called them fucking insane and said, "How dare you come here and pull this shit?" One of the victims, 16 years old, was left crying, causing them to put their signs away. So now we know. I talked about this last night. You notice the sign was gone? Well, it looks like allegedly it was put up because the owner berated and cursed out the fan. Wow, are you shitting me right now? A woman sitting next to them with a sign said "No hate in the United States" was extremely rude and said their XXXY athletic shirts were, quote, ugly. Jennifer Say, she is the founder and CEO of XXXY Athletics. This is an athletics company that supports girls and women's sports. Only biological women, only biological girls. Disgusting. But I am so proud of you guys for showing up and showing Sophie the support she deserves. You all rock. And then we've got the WNBA media. I contend that Roberta maybe ought to have her credentials pulled. How about that? If you're not there to talk about basketball, then why do you need to be there? If you're not there to concentrate on the actual game of basketball, not your social activism issues, why are you credentialed? I mean, you can run your mouth online all day. Okay. But do you really need to be in attendance? Question mark? What's that got to do with actual basketball being played on the court? Storm head coach Sonia Raymond, on her reaction to the anti-trans rally before the game versus the Fever. Quote, "We always want to be in an area where people feel welcome coming into the building. I know our organization was working closely with Climate Pledge Arena and with security to make sure everybody feels safe and included and welcome when they walk through this door." Asked Stephanie White and the players about the rally and Sophie Cunningham's recent comments, Fever PR responded with a statement from the organization, quote, "Neither our organization nor Sophie had any knowledge of this demonstration and no contact with the organizers. Our only goal as a team, whether at home or away, is to win basketball games and make Fever fans for life. We are united in that mission." That is a perfect statement. That's a really good job by the Indiana Fever. I got to give them credit. That's a perfect statement. We're not wading into these waters, sorry. So that triggered Roberta because now she's mad. She's calling out Caitlin Clark. I know no one will, based on statements and reactions, but someone in the league side, not a player, has to effing say the words "trans women belong in women's sports," period. They're triggered. That would be my direct question to Caitlin Clark. But she was not made available. I'm making the question public. Who gives a shit? And she's welcome to answer it if she wants. I promise you, Caitlin Clark is not paying attention to you. Caitlin Clark's stance on this situation is as important as her Fever teammates. I asked Kelsey Mitchell and Monique Billings too. Clark is the most popular player on the team, friends with Cunningham, and extremely influential. Her thoughts are more than relevant. They are absolutely not relevant if it is not directly related to basketball on the court. Caitlin Clark literally just told you in a viral interview When it comes to me, keep it about basketball on the court. Monica McNutt, Roberta, 2 days later, completely out the door. The only thing worse than a lot of people running the WNBA in front offices, in league, the actual league office, is WNBA media. They care about everything that's not actually basketball on the court. And it's one of the reasons why this league has struggled mightily to grow. So now that we know the Seattle Storm owner allegedly verbally went after this fan, this underage fan, look, 16 years old, whether you like it or not, is technically a child. A kid. We're going to need some explanations for that. Oh, we're not going to forget that. We're not going to let that go. That's a problem. Kathy Engelberg, that's a problem. Adam Silver, that's a problem. I seem to remember a few years ago, the Atlanta Dream owner got removed. She was one of the owners, got removed because she was a Republican, I think. Okay. How about we do the same to the Seattle Storm? I understand in that region, that's how they vote. That's how they get down. But I think it's unacceptable for an owner to go after a fan, allegedly. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.